Hello and welcome back to Focus Atlanta. Thanks so much for continuing to watch. We're going to close out the show talking a little bit about diabetes awareness. I am here with Laura Cronin. Hi, Laura. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Can we start off talking a little bit about the stigma? There's a lot of stigma that's attached to a diagnosis like diabetes. Can we start there?
Yeah, sure. I think that there's a lot of stereotypes that go along with having diabetes, whether you're lazy or you're non-compliant or you're unmotivated. And most of that is just not true. And it's just a take on it that people that don't have an understanding about diabetes think.
What is it that we as a community can do to kind of wrap our arms around, the people in our family? Because everybody knows somebody who has diabetes. What can we as a community do to kind of lower that stigma and learn more and do better?
The first thing is to, I think, just have an open mind and open attitude about listening to people who have diabetes that are in your family. A lot of people, there's a company called Abbott that does my CGM here, my Freestyle Libre that I wear on my arm. And they're doing a campaign right now that addresses these stigmas and how you can help people with those stigmas by listening to them, by having empathy, by doing things that giving them the grace and the ability to take care of themselves without judging them. And I think that is one of the things that you can do. There's so many places that I could go with that question.
No, but that's a great place to start. I think that so often from the outside looking in, we don't know what to do. We don't know how to, approach topics. We don't know what people are going through in their everyday lives. We have to learn how to avoid making assumptions about people when we find out that they may have, a life-altering, diagnosis of some sort. So grace is a pretty good place to start. What do you want people to know about the bias?
Well, just basically that it's not true. I mean, you have diabetes not because of all the jokes that they make on TV about it, that eating that will give you diabetes, or the things that they say online, or that looks like diabetes on a plate. That's not diabetes. Diabetes is, for me with type 1, that my pancreas no longer produces insulin. My immune system attacked my pancreas, so I no longer have insulin in my body to eat anything without taking and injecting insulin. So I think that's the biggest thing to understand, that it's not by something that I did or that we do. It's just our body attacking itself, basically. I have so many stories over the years of bias and stigma that I myself have went through, living with diabetes. So I don't know if you want to hear about those or where you want to go.
Well, sure. Whatever you'd like to share, because again, I think that sometimes it's easier for people on the outside looking in when they have a face to attach to something, right? When they have someone that they can, refer to, oh my goodness, she looks perfectly healthy. I would have never known that she had diabetes. Or, oh my goodness, she, does everything right. I see her eating all the time, and I would have never known that she has diabetes. So those personal stories sometimes can make an impact.
Right. Well, it's interesting that you say, I would never have known that. Again, I want to talk about something with Abbott because they did a big study with 2,500 people with diabetes to find out their feelings about the stigma and the things that they're going through in their lives. And it was found out that 1 in every 4 people don't even tell their family and friends that they have diabetes because they're so embarrassed by it. And that was shocking to me as someone who has lived with diabetes for 31 years, to hear that fact, because if somebody isn't telling the people around them that they have diabetes and they're ashamed or embarrassed about it, then they're not taking care of themselves either. And that's what's leading to all the complications and all the bad things that we hear about with diabetes. Like you mentioned before, I don't look like I have diabetes. That's because I take control of my diabetes. I manage it the best I can. Yes, I have good days. I have bad days. We all do. I wouldn't be diabetic if I didn't have that, but I manage the best that I can, and I have as good of an attitude as I can about it. And I try to educate and give insight to people around me that don't know about diabetes, and it just helps them going forth in the world when next time they encounter someone that has it.
Wow. Well, then I can't let you close out without giving us a website. Is there some place, that we could, learn more at Abbott or something so that we could become better informed people in this community?
Yeah, well, the campaign is called Above Bias, Above the Bias, and is abovebias.com. And that's where you can go. They have a great short little film on there that really shows what I go through on a daily basis, what goes through my head, encountering other people and what they think. And it'll give everybody a little insight into that and maybe just a little bit more empathy.
A little more empathy. Maybe that's just what each and every one of us needs. Thanks so much for making time for us today. It was a pleasure to meet you.
You too. Thank you.
Absolutely. All right, guys, please take the opportunity to go and visit the website and learn more. And thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Focus Atlanta. I hope to see you next week here on WUPA.